another interactive session on Best Trends TV show. My name is Anyonam. Follow this program on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Send us your thoughts, questions. If you want to reach out to any of the CEOs you see on our platform, send me that details and I would make sure that connection happens for you. This program is proudly brought to you by Vanguard Assurance, Lead Tomato Paste, NPRA, Novelty Innovations, and J&G Insurance Brokers. City High Pictures, thank you for our screen. Anything home appliance, just go to them, pay 50% deposit, and you have 3 to 4 months to pay the rest of the money to get whatever you want to get for your home. Thank you to Cluttered Fashion on Instagram for my beautiful outfit, and Diamond Cosmetics, thank you for my look. Today we are focusing the discussion is centered around Junior Achievement Africa. It's a non-governmental organization. It's a global brand that's existed for some number of years and done a lot of tremendous work for young people from scratch to tertiary, and then just join them and they'll help you. Having a conversation with the president and CEO of Junior Achievement Africa. Her name is Elizabeth Elango Beatleaf. I have to take my time to pronounce that one. If not, there'll be trouble. Let me go for a quick break. She's right here in my studios. When I come back, I'll introduce her and the conversation begins. I'll be right back.
And you know, my claim is not covered by the insurance policy I arranged.
Parkwesi, I've always advised you to let J&G Insurance Brokers, the insurance professional, handle your insurance to avoid gaps. At J&G, we analyze your insurance needs, we arrange cover with the best insurer with a track record of prompt claims payment, and above all, we facilitate and negotiate your claims. Call Dr. Gideon Amenyedo, the CEO, on 0244 333335 or 0504 333335. You can also email him, Gideon, at jinginsurancebrokers.com or visit our website, jinginsurancebrokers.com.
Thank you very much, Ayunam. I'm calling doctor right away.
At J&G Insurance Brokers, negotiating a great insurance deal is our business.
Waitress! Tomato paste when I would eat, I don't want to leave tomato paste in Ghana. Ah!
Aha! This is what I call a journey.
Secret na LEAP, leap. Someone named a leap tomato paste journey there. It was superb and palatable taste. Na esu biaso. There were large and small sizes for chop bars, restaurants, and FMF.
For bulk purchase, contact 033-2095-314 or 050-141085.
Welcome back from that quick commercial break. It's still Best Trends TV show season 6, dubbed Forward Thinkers. Elizabeth Elango. Let me leave that one.
You can stop there. That's it's my name.
Exactly.
I appreciate it.
Welcome and thanks
Thank
so
you
much
for
for joining
me.
us on Best Trends.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
And
as
you
well.
know what? When I spoke to my contact to help me get to you, I didn't know you would oblige to come because it was a limited time.
Oh.
Hey, President and CEO.
Oh, no, of course.
You have no idea. But congratulations on
you.
the immense job you're doing for young
Thank you so
people
much.
across the globe. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Right. So I was telling you off camera that when I heard about Junior Achievement Africa, it was around 2009.
Okay.
Let's briefly touch on what Junior Achievement Africa stands for.
So again, thank you for having me. Junior Achievement Africa and Junior Achievement in general is an organization, a global organization that is focused on the economic empowerment of youth. And really bridging the gap between what kids are learning in school and what they need to be prepared for the world of work.
Right.
So we have this narrative that if you start school, do exceedingly well in your exams and graduate, you will just go on to be wonderfully successful and the world will be your oyster. And that's not always true. There are a lot of things that we don't learn in school that we need to be able to prepare for the workforce.
Right.
And so that's what we do as an organization, is close that gap.
Right.
So we focus on three main areas. We focus on entrepreneurship education, teaching kids how to start and run businesses. We focus on financial literacy, helping them understand the basics of money, from earning, saving, to spending, investment, insurance, and so on. And then finally, we do workforce readiness, which, you know, when you come out of school and you're going into a workplace, a lot of people don't know what to do. A lot of young people don't know what a CV is, or how to create one, what do you do with one, how to job hunt, and all of those things. So that's our mandate as an organization and our mission.
Right. Have you always wanted to do this?
I have, for most of my career, yes, wanted to work with young people.
Okay.
I didn't always know what that would look like. So when this job came up, I left my job after 15 years in the agriculture sector, still with nonprofits all over Africa. I left that role and knew that I wanted to come back home. I was living in the US at the time. So I knew I wanted to come back to Africa. I knew I wanted to live in Ghana, which was always a big dream for me. And I knew I wanted to work with young people. So I sort of put those requirements out in the universe and God, and landed in this role. So
Here you
really
are.
perfect
Here
for me.
you are. I realize you work in other continents, Kenya, South Africa.
We work in other continents. We work in other countries in
Right,
Africa. So
right.
our regional office is based here in Accra.
Okay.
But we coordinate the work of junior achievement in 15 countries across sub-Saharan Africa.
Over the period you've worked with Junior Achievement Africa, tell me the stages of people you work with. Is it from scratch all the way to tertiary, or there's a cut-off point?
We do, so our age range is what the African Union defines as youth. So it's from the time they're entering school to the age of 35. So we have programs for each of those ages. So we have, for example, primary school.
So no one is left out?
Well, no one is left. The intention is that no one is left out. We're not working in all schools in all countries. We only reach about 250,000 kids each year, which is a big number, but compared to what the need is on the continent, it's quite small.
Am I right to say that Junior Achievement Africa prepares the young generations for a global takeover or positioning, to be able to position yourself, not just for, let's say, those who are here in Ghana, that you're mentoring or grooming or training, who are going through your programs? Is that for them to be able to position themselves, do business right here in Ghana, or the plan is for them to be able to, you know, go across the shores of Ghana?
I mean, we're not encouraging young people to leave the continent. We want to keep our talent, right? We're already losing a tremendous amount of young people to other countries on other continents. But we're preparing them for the 21st century.
Right.
And the truth of the 21st century workforce is that very few people stay in one place. You know, when young people are competing for jobs, it's not just with kids in Accra or in Ghana or even in you know, on the African continent. It's global. When a position is open, it's a global competition.
You should be able to apply.
You should be able to apply. You should be able to contend for positions, no matter where they are, because other people in other countries are applying for the same positions. So that's what we do, is prepare them for that kind of situation.
Over the period you've organized these programs, have you gone back to assess those who have gone through these programs and perhaps are on their own now? Have you make assessment? What are some of the achievements? What are some of the challenging points? And how are you working to address those stuff?
We actually just completed an impact study of our work this year. We'll be releasing it in the January-February timeframe. And it was an assessment of our entrepreneurship education program, which is a program called the Company Program. And so within that program, in high school, we teach kids to start and run a business, a real business. So they go from coming up with a business idea that they identify in their schools, capitalizing it. We give them share certificates to sell to teachers, you know, parents, classmates, and so on. And they really run that business throughout the school year. And they're learning in that process about what it takes. And the reason we do this at high school and middle school is, you know, when you look at the data in Africa about how many kids are going into university, it's less than 10% across the continent. Shocking, right? And really, university is typically the first place where people have access to business education. But even the business education they're learning about in university is how to run established businesses. It's not how to start a business, which is a very different thing. So that's why we do this program, and we've just finished evaluating it. The results are very positive. We learned a lot about the impact of the experience in terms of young people starting businesses, in terms of young people creating employment for other young people, which is also very important given the unemployment levels on the continent. In terms of young people just being ready to access the opportunities that exist in the workplace. So we'll be releasing that soon, and it's been very, very positive.
Okay. You're still watching Best Trends TV show. My name is Enyonam. Today, I'm having a conversation with the president and CEO of Junior Achievement Africa. Her name is Elizabeth Ilango, and the rest is on the screen. I'm going for a quick break. I'll be right back. Stay with me.
Oh. Enyonam, my claim is not covered by the insurance policy I arranged.
Parkwesi, I've always advised you to let J&J Insurance Brokers, the insurance professional, handle your insurance to avoid gaps. At J&J, we analyze your insurance needs, we arrange cover with the best insurer with a track record of prompt claims payment, and above all, we facilitate and negotiate your claims. Call Dr. Gideon Amenyedo, the CEO, on 0244 333335 or 0504 333335. You can also email him, Gideon, at jnginsurancebrokers.com or visit our website, jnginsurancebrokers.com.
Thank you very much, Enyonam. I'm calling doctor right away.
At J&J Insurance Brokers, negotiating a great insurance deal is our business.
Waitress! Tomato paste when I would eat, I don't know. I don't want to leave tomato paste in Ghana. Ah!
Aha! This is what I call a journey.
Secret na ne LEAP, leap. Someone when him say leap tomato paste aduane de. It was superb and palatable taste. Na esu obiara so. There were large and small sizes for chop bars, restaurants, and enfie.
For bulk purchase, contact 033-2095-314 or 050-141085.
Welcome back from that quick commercial break. It's still Best Trends TV show. Send us your thought if you have any question on Junior Achievement Africa, how you can become a member or participate in any of their programs. Just send us a question. I'm sure Elizabeth will be ready to help you out with that. So I was asking your general thought on the SME or the entrepreneurship sector right here in Ghana. What have you realized that is their challenges, and how do we work to improve upon those challenges?
I mean, I think first of all, it's important to say that Ghana has a very entrepreneurial culture, which I think is a very positive thing. It's one of the highest on the continent and maybe even on the world. There was a study that came out recently about Ghanaian women being the most entrepreneurial in the world. So the environment is quite rich.
Okay.
But there's still gaps. And I think for us, from where we look, we're looking primarily at young people and starting businesses.
Right.
And the data tells us that young people are most likely to hire their peers when they start businesses. So when we think about creating jobs and who are the real engines, it's young people who are starting small businesses. What we're not getting right is preparing them on how to start those businesses, equipping them. Everybody talks about financing, and financing is important, but the basic education and the basic understanding of business needs to be taught. We're setting our kids up to fail in business creation if they don't understand what it takes to start business. So that's one thing I think we need to do, is make entrepreneurship mainstreamed into the curriculum. We still largely, not just within Ghana, but across the board in Africa, are teaching very antiquated curricula for a different model of work, you know, 20th century, 19th century, and we need to update our curricula to be more relevant to the world of work today. So I think that's something that we need to do. We also do need to address financing.
Okay.
I think there are a lot of infrastructural and institutional barriers to access for financing for young people. You know, something as basic as the age at which you can start a bank account can be a barrier for young people to start a business. But also, I think about, you know, just the stigma around failure and the stigma around entrepreneurship. One of the biggest challenges that young people have to face when they're considering entrepreneurship is the conversation with their parents about the expectation of what they're going to do. There's a big generational gap between parents and the expectation of success and kids. I always say it's like the difference between a rotary phone and a cell phone. You know, a parent wants you to go into a job that is established in an established company with a pension and all the benefits, you know, and a white collar job and all of those things. And when young people go to talk about, mommy or daddy, I want to start my own business, you know, they just think about the struggle and the difficulty, and they're not supportive. So we need to change that culture. That's one of the most difficult things, is that conversation, managing your parents' expectation. You know, and as a child of African parents, I'm always just, you know, I understand very much how difficult it can be to overcome the expectations that your parents have of you. So that also needs to be overcome.
Right. But then, since you have realized this in our curriculum, have you made any attempts to speak with the Ministry of Education in this line?
We work very closely with the Ministry of Education in all the countries. We can't go into the school without permission from the Ministries of Education. So, you know, our expectation and our hope is that as we continue to do this program, we'll be able to scale it up, and that we'll be able to show proof of concept that if you take this line of training and mainstream entrepreneurship into the curricula, we're preparing young people better to be able to come out and be job creators for themselves and for others. So we are working closely with governments, and I think governments are starting to appreciate across the board the importance of entrepreneurship education. What, you know, tends to happen, of course, with all governments change over time and priorities shift as well. So maintaining, when you make gains or when you know, make headways within a certain government, maintaining that momentum when governments change is always a challenge. So you sort of sometimes have to start all over again. But I think we're making progress.
You're making progress. Some basic things that young people do not have access to, hence even after going through these programs, they still stay home a bit or loitering about without starting the ideas they had. It's because one, lack of funds; two, where to start, I mean a space to start the business from; three, managerial skills they might not have; and four, how to brand themselves. This is my brand, this is my logo, this is what it stands for. Those basic things are mostly missing, or most startups or young people lack access to. How also are you helping when they go through the programs with Junior Achievement Africa? I mean, after that, what happens next?
So even while they're going through the program, they're learning about these things that you say. So the programs are not just designed to teach them about the technical skills. So what are shares, what's capitalizing, how do you make sales, branding, and all of that. What's even more important, we think, is, and we know actually, are the soft skills that you're talking about. Creativity, the ability to look around you and see not just a problem, but see a solution to that problem, and know how to take that solution and monetize it into something that can become a creative business. You know, one of the reasons why at middle school level we tend to do kind of a pre-entrepreneurship education program, which is really about changing the brand of entrepreneurship. Because when I spend a lot of time in schools, I spend a lot of time talking to young kids. And one of the things I realize is when I ask them to name an entrepreneur, the two most likely names to come up are Richard Branson and Mark Zuckerberg. And kids don't typically think of the person who is, you know, next door to their house, running a business, feeding their family, adding value to the community.
They don't see such people.
They don't see that as an entrepreneur, because they don't, you know, they don't see the wealth, they don't see the glamorous part that they've learned to associate with entrepreneurship. So I think we have a branding problem for entrepreneurship in Africa that we need to address before we even go into the hard skills and the soft skills. That said, you know, the soft skills are so important. Being able to have an idea, think creatively, be a problem solver, come up with, you know, solutions to a problem, and all the things that go, communicate that to potential shareholders. All of those things are important skills that kids need to learn, that we teach as part of the program as well.
So somebody might be asking, how do I enroll into the Junior Achievement programs? Are there any contributions? What are the benefits? I mean, there are a lot of NGOs all around in the name of we are helping young people. Sure. And some will even say, okay, come and pitch your ideas. Have you developed any concept, any idea you want to start with? Come and pitch them. But I have this cliche. I'm going to put it to you. Sorry for giving my your mind. You are the one right in front of me.
Go for it.
That NGOs, some NGOs at times end up stealing the ideas of these young entrepreneurs. End up at times when they, okay, I'll help you get funding from so and so sources to start a business. The funding comes and they keep it for them. So how do you defend that?
You know what? I can't defend that because I haven't worked in those NGOs. I have seen the practice, unfortunately. I think the best way we can defend it is by educating young people. Because even, the idea of copyright or your intellectual property, young people don't usually understand that, and they fall victim to these kinds of practices. So I think that education and entrepreneurship education, again, enables them to be able to understand that an idea is value. It may not be a fully formed idea, but it has value, and you have to keep it and not sell it to somebody else. So I think that's the best thing that we can do, is help them to understand that. We can't always stop the practices of unscrupulous people who have bad intentions. Whether or not we legislate against them, they're still going to act in the way that they are. But if they're talking to an educated public, to educated young people who are properly trained, who understand what their value is and the value of their ideas, then they're less likely to fall victim to these kinds of things.
Well, on that note, you cheers to this smoothies from Berry Smoothies. It's on Instagram and Facebook. If you want one of these healthy, delicious smoothies, just call him and he will be there. He does deliveries. He will come to your home. The shawarma and the sandwich and all that. He will get you sorted. Let me drink that, but I'll come back for more questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome to Kwame Showbiz Boutique. We are located at Achimota Neoplan, adjacent the Malcolm. For all kinds of events, weddings, award ceremonies, parties, engagements, just walk to our boutique. We have all kinds of clothes, very quality but affordable. We work from Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can also call us on the number displayed on your screen. Follow us on all social media platforms. Kwame Showbiz Boutique. Kwame Showbiz Boutique, West African best kept secret in clothing. From that quick commercial break, it's still Best Trends TV show. Best Trends is proudly brought to you by Vanguard Assurance. When you want to insure your car, your property, you are traveling, and you want an insurance company that got you back, it is Vanguard Assurance. Go take your policy. When you come back and there's any claims to pay, they would pay your claims promptly. They even pay through mobile money. So which insurance company does that? And of course, in this New Year season, your food can only taste better when you go for leaf tomato paste. My ladies and all the young men who are not married yet. There's single men out there like some man here. Yes, go to the market, get leaf tomato paste and prepare your shito, your jollof and your gravy. Keep it in the fridge. When you come back from your workplace, you can just warm it. And NPRA is encouraging, you just heard it in their updates, that look, you need to start contributing. Of course, you don't want to go for retirement and be hustling and you're tired and you're asking people to support you. Of course, Novelty Innovations stream live all the episodes you watch every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. on GH1 TV. If you missed it, just go on social media or our YouTube handle and you'll be able to catch up with what we discussed. And of course, many thanks to J&G Insurance Brokers. They give you policy advice on what is best for you. Elizabeth, as the president and CEO of Junior Achievement Africa, how long has it been since you moved to Ghana?
4 years, just over.
Oh, you've been around for some time.
I've been around for some time.
You've been around for some time. And so far, what was the turnout for this year's event, Junior Achievement Program?
So every year we do a regional event where we bring in kids from all over Africa who've been through our entrepreneurship education program. It's called the Company of the Year event. So these kids have competed in their various countries. They've won the national competition, and they come for the regional competition, which we've had for 2 years. We just had the second one in Ghana. So we had 44 kids from all over Africa, really amazing young people who have started businesses in their high school. And, you know, it never ceases to amaze me. I've watched this competition all over Africa, all over the world, you know, and it never ceases to amaze me, the capacity of young people to learn and to be change makers. I think it's a very exciting time to see and work with young people. The turnout was great this year. We had a lot of support. Corporate funding is mostly our sources of funding. So a lot of the corporations around town really turned out for us and supported us. And that continues to grow every year. And I think, you know, it's testament to the fact that, you know, the community where we live is really embracing and understanding the importance of young people as the leaders of the next generation, and why it's important for us to invest in them. So we're really grateful for that. We'll continue to invest in young people. I think we're moving the competition to a different country next year. But hopefully the Ghana team will, you know, show well and place well and perhaps even win. And all of this is because we have to really elevate the level of support around youth as agents of change on this continent.
Are we seeing that happening?
I am. You know, people talk about young people in very negative ways. I see it happening. I live in that space. I interact with them a lot. I think we have the best generation yet, and you know, they have a lot of the enabling environment that social media is probably the biggest game changer in terms of just creating an equity of opportunity and access for young people. I mean, I tell them, you know, if you have a passion and if you have an idea, you can put it on social media, you can create your village and your tribe, and your people will find you. You know, we live in a time where you can tweet Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, and he'll tweet you back, and it's really him. You know, you can go on Facebook and talk to Strive Masiyiwa, you know, who's one of the greatest entrepreneurs on the continent. I didn't have that growing up, you know. So, you know, I feel very strongly about the capacity of young people. I have confidence in their ability to lead, and I think we need to be making that transition.
Okay. How does an individual become a member of Junior Achievement Africa?
So again, as I was saying, we work through schools, and we work through government access to schools. So applying, you know, you can go on our website at junior-achievement.ja.africa.org and apply for your school to become a member. We work, you know, through schools and clubs.
Do you apply as an individual, or you have to apply in the name of the school?
Primarily through the schools. You can apply as an individual, and we can come around to, you know, what kind of infrastructure you have, but we don't do, our courses are not oriented to be taught as individuals.
What's the duration of the courses you run, the programs?
The programs vary. We do programs that are just day-long programs, you know, leadership, mentorship, we were just talking about those kinds of programs, but then we also do multi-week, multi-month programs.
Do we pay any fee?
Typically not. Our programs are mostly funded by foundations, corporations, institutions. So typically we don't put the cost on the students.
So let's get down to you. What do you do when you're not busy working in the office of Junior Achievement?
I am a full-time mother.
I see. How is family life?
You know, I have always strived to have balance in my life. And thankfully, the relationship I have with my kids, you know, when I'm home, I try not to take my computer home, try not to be on my phone, and try to be really present with my children. So they take up all my time. I'm watching their shows with them and playing their games and shuttling them back and forth to their things. So that's kind of my family life.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I'd love you to share a word or two to mostly proprietors or proprietors who have schools and have not enrolled their students onto these programs, individuals who want to be part of this, young people who have businesses they are running but are lacking somewhere, and of course the government institutions that also have the things of young people at heart. What word or two would you share with them?
You know, I think addressing youth and youth opportunities on this continent takes the entire ecosystem. So we are able to do our work because corporations, as I was saying, institutions. I just met the CEO of Data Bank. You know, Data Bank Foundation is one of our new funders. It takes all of that for us to be able to do our work. but it also takes government involvement. You know, governments need to give us access to schools, but the government also needs to support the curriculum and think about ways of taking them to scale. Young people who are starting business, the importance of tenacity and really learning what you're trying to do and not just winging it sets you up for better success. But young people at school, as early as, you know, middle primary school, you need to be thinking about your career. And if you think you want to pursue entrepreneurship, start the conversation with your parents now, because it's going to take them some time to come around and get used to the idea that you want to do your own thing. So it's an ongoing conversation that we all need to be part of, because young people need to succeed. Our continent will not succeed if young people are not prepared to take the reins and move forward.
Awesome. This is 2020. Any New Year message from Junior Achievement to the world?
From Junior Achievement to the world, youth are the future. Youth are the future of Africa. We have to make the investment in them.
Okay, so cheers to that.
Cheers.
Make investments in your child because they are the future of the world, and that is what Elizabeth Ilango
Bintley.
Bintley. That's what she said. She's the CEO and the president for Junior Achievement Africa. Today, it was an interesting, revealing conversation from her, telling me all about Junior. I heard this around 2009. It's been a long time I heard about it, and I'm so proud that I hosted her today on Best Trends TV show. It's all for the good of you, my SME out there. Run with this revealing information you heard today, and I'm sure you make a lot of success in 2020. Best Trends TV show, this is the home of entrepreneurs. Many thanks to my sponsors and of course my followers out there. Hey, I have a lot of giveaways this year for you, so don't miss any episode this and every weekend. Until then, it's a bye for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, thanks for
Pleasure.
sharing your time
Thank you
with
so
us.
much.
We appreciate it.